Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Pro Dota commentary done by Luminous. This is commentary 347, 6, somewhere in that ballpark. Almost there, finishing with the 350 casting marathon. But today I have a special guest. You know his voice, you know his lovely trolls. His name is Speedballing. What is up, man?
I never have trolled you in my life, ever.
You
but
never?
I'm doing quite well. It's been a while since I've cast a game. Been a while since I've done an Asian game at that. But, you know, DK, probably my favorite Chinese team, and Tongfu, a team that I probably like to hate on a little bit too much. But looking forward to this game a lot, because WCG looks to be pretty hype at this point.
Yeah, WCG Qualifiers has already finished. This is actually the semi-final match, so we're doing it a little bit late. This is game number 2 of these two-team series. You know I've been kind of just picking and grabbing all these great replay from different tournaments. If you want to check out the entire series, I do believe is on God's YouTube channel, God's Studios. So shout out to him. But this is a fairly long replay, as you guys see from the YouTube timer bar. So without further ado, let's unpause in 3, 2, 1, go. And of course for b-balling, you know my Warcraft, or actually Dota 2 now, is a little bit slow. It's a little bit tenuous, so you gotta keep it up with me. But Tongfu on the Radiant side, first pick, first ban. You can see that we're halfway through the drafting stage. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Well, out of the ordinary if you're watching European Dota, because Shadow Shaman, Dragonite, not exactly the most stable pick, but in the Chinese scene, they love these heroes quite a bit, oftentimes being banned out on the second round. Tongfu electing to picking it quite early.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Shadow Shaman from time to time as support for the main carry, but we haven't seen Dragonite too much of anything. I mean, Navi did it probably to counterpick some of the LGD picks as well. But other than that, Europeans have not been known to use it. It's always been a favorite in the Asian scene. And Dragonite, I think in the last patch, his regen got lowered, but he got a 12 armor increase.
Yeah.
Total, not an increase to his existing armor. So it's pretty ridiculous. Of course, Tongfu banning out the anti-mage. Very, very smart. Whenever you're facing burning, you never want to give him that anti-mage.
Yep. And, well, we'll talk about some of the other carries that are being banned. But for now, let's focus on DK's picks, Templar Assassin, Undying, and Venomancer. Now, again, nothing too surprising here if you're watching European Dota. Undying being one of the more popular hero being picked up. Team Empire, of course, love to pick it. Some of the more aggressive teams like Team Zero or Team Pulse love to pick that one up and run an offensive trial. In fact, it is constantly pretty much first banned up. If it's not banned up, it's first picked. So it's very, very surprising for Chinese teams to pick it up. I know DK is generally somewhat aggressive. Again, with burning, he kind of likes to sit there and farm. With that said, he also plays like a Volsi, likes to join the team fight if necessary. But it's very, very strange to see Burning playing with, and I'm not even saying that he's going to be on the Undying, but playing with the Undying, because it just doesn't feel like it's synergized with what they do. With that said, last time we saw Burning playing Slardar, a hero that, you know, doesn't exactly go the ultra late game. So it seems like DK is maybe adjusting to the patch a little bit to play a little bit more aggressive early on, and we'll see how it goes. Definitely not a traditional Chinese hero, and I'm looking forward to how it's going to shape out in a very Chinese-heavy metagame.
Yeah, I mean, the Chinese have definitely adapted this patch very fast. IG have just been steamrolling everybody with incredibly aggressive picks. The Chinese just played what the patch strength is geared towards, and since this patch is much more aggressive, the Chinese have really taken over that. That's why you see Night Stalker being banned. Before that, I mean, Night Stalker was never banned, which is funny because when Dota 2 first came out, he was one of the top 4 bans all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Undying, a very, very popular hero these days, and even DK probably has a bit of a, you know, a weird stigma saying that they farm all day. It's pretty much just Burning, but the other 4, you know, they help Burning stay in the game. They gank for him, they push for him. They really just give him the room so he can farm up. So don't forget about those players. But LD did say that, or LD or Gods, I read in a tweet that Super has really been stepping it up, and I'm happy to see that because I really felt like Super had been underperforming prior to just recently.
I always thought Super was a great player, so I've never seen him underperforming, but perhaps we'll see him do very well in this game, or maybe we'll see him continue to underperform. Who knows? We'll see what's going to be. But I'm actually really happy that you brought up the little prehistorical lesson of Dota 2 pick ban, because Night Stalker was a high pick back then, and you know, not much has changed since. I mean, he has some slight tweaks here and there. But it just goes back to a point that I really like to bring up all the time, is that, you know, Dota 2 pick and ban is all about trends, and when things are trendy, heroes are picked up. When heroes are not trendy, they're not picked up. And the recent addition of the ATOT tournament, is that how you say it?
Yeah, ATOD.
ATOD? which is reverse captain mode, really allow viewers as well as captains to play with heroes that they don't really want to play with and haven't had the chance to play with in a very competitive environment. And I think more so now than, let's say, 2 or 3 years ago, I think the general public have better opinions of, or better understanding of every single hero in the Dota pool. I mean, 3 years ago we see 20 heroes. Now I think it's closer to like 40, maybe even 50. Again, some of these are very, very slight picks, but I think people are generally understanding the hero pool a lot better.
Yeah, I'm just actually looking through Play Dota right now, and pretty much, yeah, I mean, most of these heroes are picked these days. Of course, Play Dota also has heroes who are not yet introduced into the game. But yeah, pretty interesting to see all these heroes constantly shift in and out of the scene. Sven being banned, when did you ever think we'd see that day again very soon? But Sven buffed tremendously, and IG made him work, and teams have followed suit. I know it's a hero, no talent, I know Loda is a huge fan of Sven these days, so it's really, really interesting. I think this is probably one of my most favorite patches to watch of all time so far, because pretty much every game you're going to see something different.
Alright, so let's actually focus on the heroes on hand, and Death Prophet is the reason that we're tackling this replay today. We kind of talked about the fringe picks here. And the Death Prophet, I personally feel like she always has the right tools to be a decent semi-carry in the competitive scene. I feel like AoE Silence is oftentimes a very undervalued and underestimated spell because thanks to her Witchcraft ability, passive ability, and the long casting range of Silence, you are able to be a huge annoyance throughout the team fight. But I think the biggest reason that she's picked here is the Focus Fire ability that she gets with her Exorcism. And one thing that you want to knock down as quickly as possible is that Undying Tombstone. So once Death Prophet gets going, I want to say at least level 9 or 10 with good levels into Witchcraft, getting, the extra locust bugs or ghost forms or swarms, whatever those little green thingies are called, getting extra ones of those, and perhaps even getting level 11, that's where she really wants to be. She could just burn down the Tombstone instantly, but here, DK, look at their lineup. This thing doesn't go late. Nyx, Undying, Venomancer, Leshrac. If I didn't know better, I thought this was European Dota.
I love this lifesteal pickup next, of course. It's called in Dota 1, lifesteal that is called in Dota 2. But just a little bit of a sidetracker. I think the hero who I hate playing against the most is probably Death Prophet, because when she pops her ultimate, you pretty much just die or you have to just wait out. And I just feel like it's really not fun playing against that hero. But she's not seen too much in the competitive scene. She requires a lot of tank ability. Pros, of course, very, very good at focus firing. Whenever I see those ghosts swirling around, flying around on my screen, I'm just like, what the heck is going on? I just can't pick out Death Prophet because I am blind as a bat and I have a reaction rate of a dead fish. But, Pro's good at focus firing her down, and she doesn't really have the best time laning. She's pretty easy to gank. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this game shapes up because Lifesteal are probably the best anti-tank in the business, and Death Prophet builds tanky. Dragonite, of course, a very strong tank, and I think Lifesteal is a fantastic pickup by DK in this situation.
Well, just a little bit of footnote on the Death Prophet not being. I mean, she does have laning ability. She has decent long attack range. She has Carrion Swarm. It's not exactly the most spammable spell, but it's okay. I'm checking out DK's armor right now. Look at that humongous sword. I mean, that thing is slaying dragons. Although that's... Is it wrong for Dragonites to slay dragons? It's just a hyperbole...
Not too sure, but looks like there might be a bit of engagement. Burning just scouting it out. He has picked up open wounds at level 1, so 110 mana cost. Gonna go on Sanshang. Here comes the refraction charge being popped. Undying. Can he get the decay off? Looks like he does, and it's gonna be cooling down very rapidly. But Bounty Hunter managed to pick up the first blood. ROTK did take the fall. Shaman died as well, but Moo is gonna be in a lot of trouble. Refraction. TA. Refraction, just such a good skill, especially at these early game engagements when they don't really have anything that can stop it.
Well, you guys are seeing this team fight exploding across the screen. I do want to make sure that we are still synced up on time, but looks like open wounds again is going to go on Lone DD. Lone DD dropping HP fast under his own tower, tier 1 tower, not really shooting the right target super, using refraction to block most of it. How really blocked in right now. How's going to be going down as well. 1-4 in the favor of DK, and we generally don't see these explosive team fights until much later on, but DK claiming the big advantage. I'm 11 seconds, 12, 13. I felt like it was quite behind you, but hopefully we're synced back up now. 17, 18, 19. Burning getting quite a bit of early advantage, 1 kill and of course 2 assists early on. Assist goal, not exactly the highest thing when you're sharing between 4 or 5 teammates, but still, that's going to allow him to start a suicide lane lifestealer solo. No, just kidding. We do see these guys.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Nice troll there, Luminous. You say I troll. Luminous trolling you viewers constantly. But yeah, pretty impressive that Undying, especially in the trial, already managed to hit level 2 because of that huge engagement. Level 2 decay picked
And
up
look at him.
importance.
Look at his skill build. No tombstone.
Well, I mean, looks like they're not going to be very aggressive with this lane. Not too many strong pushing powers until Venomancer hits a high level. I usually go for Decay / Soul Rip first before maxing out Tombstone, because, you know, you want that heal to help the teammate out. A pretty long cooldown on Soul Rip anyway, but yeah, so I'm not too surprised by this build by X, but, you know, some Undyings just don't even level up Soul Rip at all, not even getting a single point, which I find quite puzzling because it's 125 heal or nuke.
I mean, Soul Rip's definitely a very, very powerful nuke at the correct circumstances. I mean, at the max level, it is 500 damage heal. You were talking about the early levels of it as well, but not getting Tombstone is really making me scratch my head because by far, I personally feel that Tombstone is his, you know, bread and butter in a lot of cases. Maybe he is going to just go Tombstone at 3, 4, 5 now. We'll exactly see the change of his skill build. But now it's really farming away on this offensive trialing. Without having access into this Tombstone, it's going to be somewhat difficult for them to dive, or at least dive very easily. But again, you have open wounds, you have venomous scale, and you have decay spam, so that's already a lot of burst, a lot of slow, and even Dragonite, as tanky as heroes that he is, he's got to be very careful under that tier 1 talent. Looks like they're going to be a little bit aggressive. They're going to go on Shansheng. Correct choice here. No, Dragon Tail is going to hit on Burning, but I do believe Shansheng in big trouble. That zombie, it is going right on you. Shansheng dropping his nuke, and does have a nice shackle. Where is Burning? Burning walking around the trees, going to get the kill, and you can see that Soul Rip being so evil. Nice blocking from QQQ. Not messing around. He's going to just die there as well. These guys kind of trapped. Burning's going to walk away, tank it up, and you can see where Soul Rip really came in. The early unexpected burst of damage coming out of Undying, and of course providing the heal. Of course, if you want to use it as a nuke, you got it as a nuke.
Yeah, I mean, level 1 Tombstone in that situation, I don't really think it would have done too much. It spawns 1 zombie with a ridiculously small range, so Sora pretty useful early on. QQQ doing a magnificent job, and I was going to say before that engagement happened, I was like, does DK even want to be pushing? But it looks like, or being played very aggressive because they don't pick up the Tombstone, but it looks like they are playing quite aggressive, and he's maxing out Soul Rip or getting a second point at the very least. This is good for the cooldown, decreasing it quite a bit, getting that heal, getting that damage off to a significant amount, but not too sure about maxing Soul Rip or even getting a second point this early on. Usually I personally like getting Tombstone, at least at this point, so you can have that presence in the team fight. Because Undying, especially in the trial, and as time goes on, his effectiveness does decrease as you can focus down Tombstone much more easily.
Yeah, I mean, it does give him that burst, and I think that burst is what they want against Shang-Sheng. Just burst him down immediately and make sure that he does not get anything going. How is, again, trying to farm out on this. I have recognized that we are 4 minutes in this replay, and I'm not looking at any other lanes at all, but all the actions are happening here, so hopefully we're not missing too much. Of course, I'll be bringing up the last hit chart for ICC. It is Burning leading away, and of course, the next player up is Jiru on the mid lane playing the Templar Assassin. Yeah, I think this particular matchup, if we quickly jump to the mid lane, is that Mu, of course, has a disadvantage here. Her burst farming / harassing skill is only going to remove 1 refraction charge, which I don't think Super cares too much. And the damage output here from refraction will allow Super to have the advantage. Mu on the top lane here, Veronica playing the Bounty Hunter versus Kung Fu Panda or ROTK as his normal tag. And he is going for a very standard Shrek build. We haven't actually seen farming Shrek in a long while. What's your opinion of the hero, especially in this current metagame?
Oh man, in this current metagame, not too sure because usually he tends to die, but there might be an engagement on the bottom lane. Now Dragonite's just going to back the heck out of there. But yeah, Leshrac, I feel like he's such a strong farming hero. He can carry quite well, he can support quite well, but I'm not really sure. I guess physical carries these days need to have some physical attacks. I really can't say too much about Leshrac, to be quite honest, without making myself look bad. But I'm always a huge fan of farming with the Leshrac. I think getting that Pulse Nova up to spam to an inconceivable amount, having that BKB up, especially against this lineup, even if you get Black Hole, that Edict and the Pulse Nova will still be going. I think it'll be so important in this game.
Yeah, I think Leshrac in this particular game adds a very interesting dynamic to how the damage is going to be coming out. Burning is going to be doing a lot of physical damage. Same thing with Templar Assassin. So, you know what? Let's stack up on armor. Let's stack up on, you know, things like Vanguard or whatever else. But if you just focus on that, well, the Leshrac is going to burn you away with his magical damage output. Looks like we're going to have a wide series of disconnects. And being this a replay, we could actually skip far ahead. This is a very long game as well. So, B-balling, I'm going to fast forward ahead a little bit and wait for guys to reconnect. But I think, yes, if you're going for both a kind of a physical carry and then a magical base carry that Leshrac tends to be, I think you're going to be in a you put your enemy in a somewhat of an awkward position when it comes down to item buying. You know, you don't want to focus too much on defensive item, but this really forces you to do so. I am at 21:08 in the replay time, and that's when they're unpausing. So B-balling, if you could quickly get there.
Replay bar too strong for B-balling, as I have to just go through on 2 times or 4 times speed because I skipped around a little too much.
No problem. This gives me the time to actually also talk about this particular. Oh, actually, you were talking about that DK of Burning Zero. Lifestealer is a great tank, anti-tank carry, which 99% of the time I really agree because he chops through HP. He does.
Yeah, but against Dragonite because of
Yes.
armor. Pieces based on armor. It's such an awkward synergy. And even Lifestealer on Dying Lane is very awkward synergy because he's going to drain your strength, he's going to drain your HP, and Lifestealer's attacks will just do a lot less damage. But it looks like Banner did get a kill on the top lane. Dragonite was just like not getting anything done on the bottom lane, so he's migrating there. And meanwhile, TA does get a kill.
Wait, have you already unpaused? Because I haven't unpaused yet. I was going to wait for you to unpause together, but sure.
My bad, dude.
All right, I'm here. I'm gonna pause right now, and you could catch up. I'm at 5:14 in the replay time. 5:17, 18, and it looks like there is a kill happening on the top lane. Thanks, people. Teleporting on the top lane here is how Dragontail Flamespread gonna get the kill. 5:25, 26. Meanwhile, back on the mid lane here, there's a dive as well. Shansung, there's a Shackle on super pops the refraction. Look at, she's diving tier 1 tower in between trees, gets Shackle there, still gonna survive, but how long will she survive? Lone DD trapping up on the high ground here. Look at his skill build, not something that we see too often is actually maxing demonic conversion. Maybe it's kind of like the flavor of the day. Maybe pro player has been maxing demonic conversion, but generally, I personally recommend maxing Malefice by 7 because it's so important to get extra stun when you're coming out to gank out jungle. But that's just me. 6 minutes in B-balling. 6:01, 6:02. Region we get snatched up here on the top. 6:04, 6:05. Do apologize for any
should be good to go.
technical difficulties, but this is some getaway we're doing this.
We are scrubs, and unfortunately, we're gonna remain scrubs apparently. But yeah, I guess demonic conversion in this situation, since they have Shadow Shaman, since they have Death Prophet, they will be looking to get some early pushes going. But I mean, Shadow Shaman, they're not getting too much of anything done. Looks like ROTK is gonna take a lot of damage on the top lane. It's gonna probably most assuredly take the fall. Meanwhile, Undying did get a kill on the bottom lane. Leshrac does die, but the gold is split. And what happened on the bottom lane?
No, it's on the mid lane right now. The Tombstone's drop as well. Lone DD's on the run, but Lone DD really cannot run away from the Tombstone, from multiple wards, and more importantly, those TA traps. Great roaming gank here from Dai as well as 357. Of course, they're called MMY and QQQ now. Man, they're just switching name whenever they go to a new team, and they've been on a couple of teams. Meanwhile, Burning coming on the mid lane as well. Burning's playing very unburning-esque in these last couple of games. He is just roaming and ganking away. Look at his particular skill build though. A lot of times players like to max feats because it's like, hey, extra damage, you know, extra lifesteal. It really raises the spell that you want to max in these pro games. For that magical immunity, it is probably the most important thing. Back on the mid lane here, Tower's gonna get focused. Nice, and not coming from Mu. Sentry gets dropped and they find Veronica. Veronica relying on that invisibility a little bit too much, and the insane damage output of DK will burst him down as well. 4-10 in favor of DK, and look at this goal difference. 5,000 with tier 1 tower being destroyed, and DK not looking to stop as all 5 heroes, as well as a not even close, I was gonna say almost close to max Tombstone given that he's level 6, but again we had some wonky skill build. Trap gets dropped on the mid lane. The healing of MMY, they want How. Are they gonna get How? They will. The Black Hole's gonna drop down. How still surviving with about 10 HP. He finally dies to Undying Tombstone zombies, and now Super's gonna die to his tower focus as well. Look at Moo's damage output. He's just shredding everybody apart. His exorcism has not been focusing on Tombstone. It was focusing down heroes. MMY surviving with 40 HP, and now Burning will go on. No! The last ghost just pecks him off, and Moo just stops that push. One-man co. Of course, the black hole was great. It really allowed the DK to survive as long as he did. But really, Exorcism, look at this. Level 9 Exorcism winning team fights. Insane stuff.
Yo, if Exorcism could be skilled level 9, that would be by far the most broken spell in the game.
I mean, no, think about it.
I'm just listening. Yeah, or Exorcism in conjunction with the black hole, especially since the heroes are not too tanky at this point. It just ripped through DK. But we'll see how they can progress, because DK doing all of their kills on small scale engages, and right now black hole will have a 200-second cooldown. Exorcism not nearly as long, but still, we'll see how Tongfu can hold out for the next minute and a half until black hole is up.
Meanwhile, we're going to see a gank attempt on the top lane here against ROTK. ROTK is going to take a Janata to the face, as well as a Dragon to track on top. Flame Breath for the KS. I think we're going to have to be very clear when we say DK as a team and DK as a hero, because I'm already confusing myself a little bit. Dragonite is going to be grabbing the kill on Hal on the top lane. One thing I do want to point about the ultimate, I think I covered it slightly during the pick ban stage. Death Prophet, her ultimate is not like most other heroes' ultimate, where it jumps greatly, you know, on every level 6, 11, 16. The way that her ultimate jumps also is whenever you pick up levels of Witchcraft, as it does give you more, what do they call it? Exorcism Spirits. Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, it is already fairly strong. On the top lane, though, how on the run, the Gale will hit. He does drop off Dragonite on QQQ, but multiple zombies, and look at the ward's going to get dropped as well. How not going to survive. He's quite squishy at this point. Shansheng's going to get jumped upon the rage at 6 seconds. Shansheng shackling up, trying to get some kills, but those kills are not happening. These wards, generally when you drop them, you want to get kills, but not only are they not getting kills, tower kills, they are just giving gold.
Yeah, I mean, X, only level 7, has just picked up that 3rd point to Tombstone, so that Tombstone's going to get even more scary as the game goes on. So it's really going to be up to the Krob, like you said, to really focus down that Tombstone, because without it, they are going to be screwed. Like, literally, they can't really go into it. They can't go into Undying without Exorcism or Black Hole in this situation, but Veronica going to venture very close to the middle tier 2 tower. Will they let it fall? Exorcism popping off all the while, but it will be cooling down very rapidly, but the tower will take the fall. Radiant picks up the last hit, and meanwhile Veronica is on the retreat. Should be okay, as, yep, Krob is going to escape safely as well.
Interesting boot choice here for Krobelus, going for the triangle boots. It does give you a little bit more sustainability when it comes to, you know, farming and laning and whatever else, but I thought for sure you're going to go something for either strength treads for a little bit more stats to work with on top lane here. How getting ganked once again, man. They're just keeping down this Dragonite at all. But going back to the boot choice on Krob, I thought it's going to be treads or at least Arcane's boot for a little bit more spam. Does she really need Tranquil Boots, especially when she has Bottle? I'm not sure. I'm not liking that choice, at least personally. Oh, they want to smoke right under the tier 2, but Burning is right there. The trap attempt here coming from the wards, not exactly big enough, and it looks like DK is just completely dismantling Tongfu, just one at a time, they're just putting on the offense. I just want to quickly point out on the mini-map, look at the warding that DK has been doing. They are just choking on Tongfu right now, and Tongfu, I mean, this doesn't look like an 80-minute game or 70-minute game, because DK is looking like they're about to just kind of stump, you know, roll over these guys.
Yeah, but unfortunately for them, how will they push up the high ground? That is going to be very difficult, but will there be a pursuit onto the DK heroes? They're going to escape. Lifesteal is in the Undying Zombie. Get that 4th point into Tombstone, so he has 2 points in the 4 points in the Tombstone, so they'll be getting that, but how will they break up the high ground? That's going to be really difficult, especially against a Krob. DK with the Fire Breath spam,
yeah.
The Shadow Shaman with the Warriors, with the Hex, with the Shackle, with the Ether Shock. Bounty Hunter constantly tracking you. It's going to be pretty difficult, and that might be where DK is going to stumble a bit.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's up to DK, the team, to look for a couple of pickoffs. They've been doing a great job in doing so. You can see that every time they do it, they try to get some extra advantage, whether it's a tier 1 tower or a tier 2 tower, we just saw right there. Keep in mind that because DK is very much so leading in terms of tower, they will be looking to take the Roshan advantage as well. And I think that's one of their, probably the best way to go up on the high ground. Basically make their, as you can see that they're doing the Roshan as we speak, make sure that either Super or the Lifestealer is walking in with the Aegis, tanking about building spells, and trying to do as much damage as possible. Also, items as like mech or pipe will be very helpful during that uphill climb for that 3rd tower. But for now, they're just content to get the Aegis, and I do believe Tongfu is having the correct response. They're like, you know what, we can't challenge you at the Roshan pit, we're not strong enough, so we're going to try our best to push this tower down. But don't think they can actually do it, at least within the time. Yeah, you can see that DK is just completely responding, just always one step ahead of Tongfu, I feel like.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate when your DK or your Dragonite is only level 8, like you said. A little bit confusing. Meanwhile, the lifesteal on the opposing side has Armlet, has Max Feast, Max Rage, and 2,500 gold in the bank. Didn't even get the Aegis. That went on Super, the Templar Assassin. Probably the more appropriate choice since Super will be dying very, very aggressively. A little bit more aggressively and doesn't have that Rage built in like the Templar Assassin or like the Lifesteal. As QQQ is going to get tracked, he's going to drop the Venomous Gale, the Poison Nova, but he does take the fall ultimately. That Poison Nova going to hurt quite a bit, and they might have to go back to the fountain. No, looks like it's not really high enough Poison Nova to really sink in. Only level 1 Poison Nova at this point. But yeah, I mean, they have Black Hole, they have Exorcism, and if Krob can hit level 11, then it's going to be really difficult for DK to initiate a fight.
Yeah, DK gotta just go for pickoff. Take their fights very, very carefully. Venomancer dying there doesn't matter too much, but again, it's a dent in their offense and a little bit more time here for how to pick up a little bit more farm. But more importantly, is Templar Assassin picking up the Blink Dagger shortly before that, and with the extra mobility that Templar Assassin get. Heroes like Enigma, heroes like Krobelus at this point in the game, and especially a Shadow Shaman, if they're not standing next to another stunner, they're basically dying for sure. Like a TA will chase you down with relative ease, and it's up to them to hold hands, because again, if you lose any more tower, it's an invitation to high ground, and I'm sure DK, the team, will take that invitation because they know they're gonna have some difficulty pushing down the high ground in the mid to late game.
Yeah, Krob is level 11 with maxed Witchcraft. She's going to do so much damage. Enigma's picked up the mechanism before Undying even finished his, so Tongfu, they're still very much in it, and when you have Track, you're always in a game. Track is such an ridiculous spell in terms of getting your team really, really far ahead or getting your team at least back into the game. Dragonite level 9 only has 1 point in Dragon form because he's not yet level 11 just yet. And DK, will they smoke up? 3 heroes are on the top lane in the jungle. No, they aren't going to smoke up. They're just going to, I guess, bulldoze their way. But now we see Tongfu playing very, very safe, very, very carefully. Have their wards up, not really progressing too far. And even if the Dragonite's farming aggressively, he always has at least 2 heroes to back him up. But we'll see if DK actually cares about that, and if they're just going to dive anyway.
Well, DK does see those 2 heroes backing him up. A great Observe Ward, putting it in the between the basically where the tier 1 tower is. And they know that Dragonite is somewhat of a bait. Well, they know that he's not alone. Looks like a tier 2 teleport is coming in. Smoke of the Sea gets pop here, and Veronica gotta be extremely careful because they will dust, they will sentry. As I say that, where is the dust? There's the dust coming here from Kung Fu Panda. Trap gets the Blink Dagger on Veronica. Veronica gets scaled up here. Veronica is gonna go down for sure, but I guess that's a low price to pay. You get a safe tier 1 tower for your bounty hunter. Again, losing a bounty hunter at this particular stage is not that happy. I actually want to value that exchange in the favor of Tongfu.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially since, you know...
Well, if DK gets out alive.
Oh no, as Dragonite didn't have a teleport scroll, he drops a Dragon Tail on the Templar Assassin, but we'll be okay. And now that the Exorcism is down, and Bounty Hunter is going to be dead, so won't be applying that minus armor with the track, looks like DK knows that it's time to push, and... But unfortunately, Exorcism has a pretty low cooldown, so we'll be up before the tier 3 tower gets breached at the very least. We'll see if they even contest the tier 2. Not too sure if that would be the best decision, but well, I guess we'll see how they decide to go about it. And looks like they are going to defend it.
Yeah, I think the Radiant team does have the necessary item to defend it, being the fact that the Radiant team has a mech on Enigma and Undying does not have the mech on theirs. So if they want to take a fight, they have some sort of advantage. But then again, on the other side, look at Burning's farm, as not only does he have the Armlet, but he has the Maelstrom and 1700 gold in the bank as well. And seems like they were like, you know what? Let's ride this momentum, ride the advantage, and go up on the high ground. And there's the Kirin Swarm spam. There is a Flame Breath spam. And can they really spam off this team? It looks like they're doing a pretty decent job so far. As I say that, the Tombstone has not been dropped. They haven't popped their edict yet. Seems like DK says, we'll come back in a different day. But DK Burning's Aegis has it run out?
No, it's on the Templar Assassin.
Oh, my bad.
And it hasn't run out just yet. It'll run out pretty soon, though, so a little bit close right there. You didn't write that in the Aegis time in the Observer chat. Pretty surprising.
I generally do that when playing game, but actually if you're casting, if you look at the clock in the Roshan, and if you look at that 7 with a double dash in the middle of it, if the light hits that part, that's when the Aegis either is out or it's almost running out. So
yeah,
I generally just look at it there.
I know in one of the live casts you kept writing down the Roshan timer. So. you know,
Good,
good habit to have.
good habit to have.
Especially if you're a support bitch.
No, man, ain't no bitch. Dropping that ward like I mean it. That ground felt that shit. No bitch.
And Tongfu gonna smoke up. That ward was Tongfu's ward, fortunately for them. Krop was not in the smoke. We'll see if Tongfu can make anything happen from this. The Venomance ward, not gonna see this coming. As who will they go on? They try to. Looks like they're trying to go after Burning, but of course they don't know where anybody is at this point. Burning will reveal himself by the ward, so now they know. Now they know. But can they get him? That's the real question. 6 seconds is no laughing matter.
Yeah, 6 seconds, and to be honest, with open wounds and rage, they could probably kill one. They have to use Hex, at least Shaco, maybe even Black Hole to get the kill. Blink Dagger in. Where's the Black Hole? It's going to be TPing out. Has to burn the Black Hole. There you go, but he's not taking really any damage at this point. Still could invest in creep. Chain's going to be perfect. He misclicked the Shaco on a creep, and now Burning is going to come right out. He could go for the right click, but without rage, he's not going to do so. Wasted a Black Hole, a smoke gank, and a whole bunch of Tongfu's time. You call it a mistake, you call it mystic, whatever that might be. DK thanking his lucky stars right there and going back to farming. It's the only carry player I know that's like, oh, just got 3-man gank? Alright, back to farm. No problem.
Yeah, he's got that Undying Soul Rip to heal him back up.
Yeah,
2 points of decay, so he's going to max up decay. Going back into traditional Undying build, not going to max Soul Rip. Meanwhile, Templar Assassin has 3,500 gold in the bank. We'll see if she goes for fast BKB or maybe a damage item like Desolator. Probably BKB because they have a lot of ways besides Black Hole to go through that, and they're not going to worry about Black Hole for another 150 seconds as it's still level 1 Black Hole. And here comes the DK squad. Can they get anything happening? Templar Assassin going to initiate. Venomous Scale coming in on the Dragonite. Here comes the Poison Nova as well. Dragonite trying to teleport out of there. Sansheng is going to allow the Dragonite to safely teleport out of there. And looks like Tongfu is going to make a full retreat. Nicely done. But Templar Assassin is on the pursuit. Her Aegis is going to be timed out. Tombstone is dropped. But Tongfu, they're just going to escape as... Man, both teams can't kill anybody at this point.
Great TP out from Dragonite, recognizing there wasn't any stun. I guess WCG used the stun shortly before. Whatever the case might be, the stun didn't drop. Dragonite able to survive, and the ability, or the choice for him to TP actually to the tier 2 tower on the bot lane, allow him to rejoin the fight as soon as possible. Now, Burning has migrated his way back on the bot lane, trying to sustain this push. Will he be able to do so? Veronica TP's back in, and the track party will begin. Tombstone has dropped down, and Tongfu has successfully defended this tower with multiple use of Carrion Swarm as well as Flame Breath. As they say that though, DK recognize that there is no Black Hole up on the other side. They can just die for it. They're still taking quite a bit of damage.
15 seconds till Tombstone. Man, Tongfu, they might have to make their move very soon. I don't know if they really want to fight against that Tombstone as, sorry, I cut you off right there. But Burning is taking a bit of damage, has that armament, has a full magic wand. And this tower, man, this tower knows that something big is about to go down.
Open wound going right in. How Ward gets dropped right now. Where's the Tombstone? Tombstone not being dropped just yet. How taking a significant amount of damage, but Burning, he's stunned up, he's shackled up as well. There is Carrion Swarm focusing on Burning. Will he bring him down? No, he pops into a creep and now will infest right out. How getting focused. How is going to be going down for sure. Super getting his refraction charge completely drained. Look at Moo, he's completely at 4 HP. You gotta kill him quick because his ghost, he will kill you quicker. 2 is dead immediately. 3 is going down instantly for Tongfu. Tongfu winning that team fight, fighting on the tier 1 now. Tombstone, I thought that was the first thing to be focused down, but apparently Moo finding the heroes a little bit squishier. I love his item choice. I didn't have a chance to point it out earlier. Yule Scepter, probably one of my favorite item go on Death Prophet, because if you're finding yourself being focused, you could just pop your Exorcism and Cyclone up, and within that 2.5 seconds, you're probably killing a squishy support with just the ghost damage. If you're not killing, you're not getting killed, you're not getting focused, that extra movement speed helps you chase so much better, and of course, extra mana regeneration is always nice. And again, in that team fight, Moo did not lose any bit of HP, killed the entire team. I think Krobelus not being picked in other pro games and watching this one make me raise my eyebrow a little bit, because that's 2 team fights that I feel like Tongfu Moo almost single-handedly won by himself, at least on the damage output department.
Yeah, TA picks up the BKB, but that silence is also very crucial. Really prevent eHome X from eHome X, DKX, DKMMY from dropping down that Tombstone. Always eHome X in our hearts. Dropping down that Tombstone until very late on. And Lifestealer is such an interesting hero because he's a very strong hero, but he can be kited to all heck, and he's not really that tanky for a strength hero. So, you know, he's always a bit of a risk when you pick him up. I know when I play against Lifestealer, I always manage to kite him around but he's not really that tanky either, so he took a lot of damage in that engagement, and that sounds really just messed DK up. As Enigma does have the black hole now, so DK got to be very, very cautious on how they approach this next engagement. The Roshan is back, Burning going to town, has finished the Basher as well. Meanwhile, level 2 Poison Nova, that might be a good source of damage for them, but really, I mean, they're just not very tank.
I mean, DK's team fight, a lot of it is long sustained damage. I mean, that comes in from the Pulse Nova damage, of course, the Venomancer ultimate that you talked about. Tombstone is the biggest one of them all, but do you want to play a sustained team fight against Krobelus, as she'll probably outlast you with multiple nukes and multiple silences, and of course, all that meanwhile, the spirits overhead just dancing and doing multiple amount of damage to you. Yeah, but going back to your point of your Lifestealer analysis, Lifestealer is a fairly tanky hero, but a lot of her effective HP really comes in the fact that he's life-stealing, and if you're not attacking, if you're being focused, you're not actually that tanky. And meanwhile, we saw him going right on the Dragonite. Again, we talked about him as an anti-tank healer, but Feast, one of the biggest weaknesses is that it does actually, or Feast interacts negatively with armor. So if they have a lot of armor, you're not feasting for that much. And well, Dragonite is very known for being a very armor-based hero. You can see that he's hitting about 20 armor. So I'm not sure whether it was the correct choice for Burning to go right on How. I think perhaps it's better to A, focus on a squishy, and maybe force Mu to cycle himself up, in which case when he comes down, focus him down. I don't think Dragonite is doing enough damage at this point in the game to really warrant a focus, because again, the negative Feast interaction, and he does have quite a bit of HP.
Did you happen to catch that kill on the
I
jungle?
did not. I saw the message.
Sentry Ward was already placed, so Veronica roamed in a little bit too hard. Open Wounds Split Earth really just meant the end of that Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter has not had the impact that we would hope to have, but really as a Bounty Hunter, all you need to do is get that track up. Dire still have a significant gold advantage and a significant experience advantage. But Enigma's picked up a gem, really going to try to take away some of that map control that DK's been having throughout this entire game. And meanwhile, it looks like Mu gonna attack the tower for a bit, but what do you think about this early gem pickup by the Enigma?
Yeah, I mean, nothing too surprising to be... Well, I say nothing too surprising because a lot of Chinese teams love to pick up gem early, but generally the team that's picking up the gem early is when they're winning. Generally, you're gonna basically shut down all the map control and basically strangle the other opposing team, the losing team, and prevent them to have their staging a comeback. But to see a team that's on the backside, on the back foot, and start picking up a gem means that they want to make sure they have all the jungle ward off, and they do, and then they're pushing the wards back. Whenever I see wards on the mini map, I see it as like a territory game in a sense. If you can push their wards back, you're having a better game. If they push your wards back, then you got to take a drastic step, such as getting a gem. Of course, gem is going to be nice, against the Templar Assassin. Multiple traps going to get killed throughout the roaming stage, as well as fighting her and focusing her in a team fight. But it is something big, especially... What?
No, continue. I was just going to make a stupid comment.
But gotta be very careful if you're dropping the gem, though, because you do have Veronica, and Veronica unfortunately has been, like you pointed out previously, walking into a couple of death traps, and that gem would not help at all.
Anyway, I was going to say... Well, you started off a sentence with whenever I look at wards on your map, I was going to say you get hard.
I do get hard too.
On your segment, and I didn't really feel the need to interrupt it, but just the mind of B-Ball and working in very, very sick and twisted ways. But we'll see. Enigma has 1k gold in the bank. DK, Dragonite, gonna go for a Sage, probably a Heaven's Halberd for the TA, but TA has BKB. I guess for the lifesteal, Rage is down, but he has Rage.
Yeah, I mean, against Templar Assassin, against Lifestealer, whoever you could get it on, you're gonna be happy about. Heck, even freaking, I was gonna say heck, even the Undying, because he's dishing some physical damage, especially when he has DK stacks on. Most of the time, he just looks menacing with the big zombie. He's not really menacing. He's actually pretty big and cuddly if you think about it.
Yeah, he is cuddly. He's like a big teddy bear, like hers.
Don't you guys want to hug a zombie? I want to hug a zombie. Alright, here we go. Zombie walking right into silence coming in. Again, you talk about this in the previous team fight. He just can't drop the tombstone. Normally the tombstone drops down and the team fight just begins. Mu says, come back a different time. In which case, I will have yet another layer of silence waiting for you. He does have a Heartstone. And there's a feeling that Mu is going to be getting a couple of Bloodstone charges. And this next team fight, because he's playing rather wild right now. Trap gets dropped. Another layer of silence, not getting hit. How? Hopping his dragon form. Okay, of course, the extended range of the Dragon Tail also means quite a bit, especially against MNY if you want to charge in. And there you go, the big cuddly zombie Duration has ran out. Will DK back off? And seems like that's the case. They cannot push against the silence.
Yeah, it's looking very, very difficult for them as they really want that amplified damage provided by the Flesh Golem in order to initiate. Carrion Storm constantly pushing in. Lifestealer is inside the Templar Assassin. Are they going to go in? Looks like they really want to make something happen as here comes a black hole by Enigma. Catches 2 heroes, but did catch the Undying, so no Tombstone in this fight. This will be a massacre for Tongfu if Burning doesn't go completely to town. Xiao Sham does die. He buys back. I don't know if that was completely necessary, but without the Tombstone, really, really difficult for DK to win that fight, and they did not. They got completely massacred. Burning loses the Aegis. Can he get away? Probably not.
He's raging, he's running away, but all you gotta do against a raged Nyx is run after him, and that's exactly what they're doing. Dragon Tail will hit Burning a second time. Burning gets Hex up. Somebody focus him. They're gonna be very sure to get the kill. Oh, Lone DD gotta be careful. Looks like they are gonna bring him down. Meanwhile, Super on the run. So that was a 5-man team wipe, forcing a buyback on Super as well as the Aegis. And then a second kill on Burning. Am I getting that right? So effectively around 6 or 7 kills?
You're getting it wrong because Super did not buy back.
Okay.
Shadow Shaman bought back.
Oh, Shadow Shaman bought back. Okay, so I heard you screaming bought back. Did Super just somehow live through that?
He did.
Alright.
He's just running around because literally he couldn't do too much, but it looks like Tongfu have a huge advantage. And this is why I think Krobelus is my least favorite hero to play against, because when Exorcism is up, you just run around in circles saying, what the heck did we do? But here comes Kung Fu Panda ROTK dropping the splurge, getting that Pulse Nova off, but Mu is going to have the ultimate up relatively soon. 100-second cooldown, pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, for those of you guys watching out here, and perhaps this is one of the first time you've seen Krobelus being played in pro game, and you're wondering why is this hero being so effective here, and why isn't she picked up more frequently in other games? I feel like she's very useful here because of the way that DK have to take their team fight. The team fight is basically relying upon going right in and then just outmanning you up, you know. Nyx coming in and just pick off a support very quickly. Tombstone Zombie gets dropped down when you just have to back off. And when you're trying to run away, you know, from a Templar Assassin, from an open wound Nyx, you're doing it wrong. But Tongfu says, yeah, we'll stand our ground, and we'll stand our ground and actually push you back. And that's where Templar Assassin really becomes a powerhouse if she does not get focused. And so far, they have not been focusing her, I guess much thanks to the Yule Scepter. You know, she is going to just out-damage you. She does a lot of AoE work with Carrion Swarm, as well as that Silence. We've been seeing it doing a lot of work, especially against the... against what you can call it, the Undying. And of course, we're really not giving where the credits due, especially with the Black Holes. 2-man Black Hole is not exactly the most beautiful thing to say, but it started out the team fight here for Tongfu, and they remove Undying once again before he dropped down the Tombstone. And to be honest, we are moving into a stage where Undying's getting weaker and weaker as the game progresses. We were saying that how are they gonna break high ground? They being DK. How's DK actually gonna get that tier 2? They've been trying it for like 2 or 3 times now. Couldn't do it.
Looking very, very grim, especially since the Dragonite is not even level 16 yet. Once he gets level 16, man, that soul just really, really hurts so hard. But, yeah, I mean, a good way to counteract Krob is through that Initiator, whether you have a Bat Rider, whether you have some other form of initiation, just drain our HP as fast as possible. And this is just me. This is me personally, but I'm not really too big of a Bloodstone on Krob anymore, because usually she has enough mana where she can stay in her multiple Carrion Swarms cast, and that's really her only spell after Exorcism. So I'm not really too huge of a fan of Bloodstone these days on Krob. I mean, when she was popular in the 0.60 era, you know, it was the best because it gives you HP regen, but, you know, these days, don't really see the need.
Yeah, personally, I'm not exactly a big fan of it as well. At least the passive that it gives with the mana regen. I mean, the extra HP is always nice, always very welcome. But if you want just, you know, raw tanky HP, if you don't value that mana regen item too much, you know, Heart is always a good choice. Although, do you want to get Heart against Nyx? Maybe that's why it's a little bit awkward. More armor being picked up, always good to see. Again, you are against a Feast Nyx, so might as well make sure that you stack up on the armor value. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm not exactly a big fan of Bloodstone, but you know, you're never sad to have a Bloodstone, and I think Mu is enjoying his 11 charges in conjunction with the Yule Scepter. He could basically spam everything and would not run out of mana.
Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't run out of mana before.
Fair, yeah.
But
I mean, what would you recommend instead of the extra, you know, 5k
Shiva's
gold?
Guard. I'd say Shiva's Guard.
Shiva's first, and then go back to... Well, again, what would you recommend as an HP item, though? Because he definitely does need the HP.
I think Shiva's is really all you need.
just like effective HP through armor. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I think, that's all you need, especially with the Yols, but pick some Mystic Staff is going to go for the Shivas. Man, only 400 gold away from finishing that, so she is ridiculously farmed. Dragonite, level 15, so that ticking time bomb on ticking time bomb on that Frost Epicenters is coming very, very soon. Veronica has picked up a BKB as well. Meanwhile, on the dire side, Crystal is picked up on the Templar Assassin. Venomancer has not made any item progression. The Undying has picked up a Ghost Scepter, interestingly enough, and looks like the Lifestealer is going back into an AC. He has a bunch of items, but none of them are really upgrade to their max potential. And R2K has finished the BKB. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to allow her to not get focused, or not him to not get focused down by the Dragon Tail, as well as the Silence, which really will shut down Leshrac quite a bit. We really want to jump back on Undying's choice to go for the Ghost Scepter. It's intelligence-based hero on Krobelus, so it might lead you to think that her magical ultimate is or her ultimate's magical based. No, it's actually a physical damage spell. It gets reduced by armor, and it gets completely evaded by Ghost Scepter. So maybe again he's worried about those zombies focusing him down way too quickly when he's silenced and cannot drop a tombstone. At this point, his job is to just survive as long as possible, make sure you get the tombstone down, and if you're getting extra decay lasers off, and if you're healing / nuking with Soul Rip, the longer you stay alive, the longer you apply that amp damage. Hey, that's all you could ask for from Undying, and I think Ghost Scepter definitely would help out in doing that.
Yeah, definitely. As looks like DK a little bit unsure how to take this next team fight. And, in this case, you say, why not go for the gank? Well, the other team knows that you're going to go for a gank, so they're just going to play very safely. Actually, Krob doesn't seem to care. Has 11 charges on that Bloodstone, so will respond very, very quickly. But, doesn't really want to be venturing on too far. But I guess she really doesn't fear death in this situation. Trying to finish up that Shivas guard as fast as possible.
And I guess
right now, what do you think DK needs to do in order to win a successful team fight?
I don't know. I think they're waiting for the third Aegis at this point. Well, right now, in terms of winning the team fight, they gotta go for Payoff. I think we said that, like 10-15 minutes ago. But since then, we have actually not seen a single Payoff. DK's been trying to just, again, bulldoze their way in. And normally, this lineup is beautiful for doing that. Let's see if the Aegis is gonna be helpful. But 2 team fights ago, Aegis did not matter. Now they're gonna have a cheese on top of that as well. Burning, of course, picking a Basher as well as a Hyperstone. So he's really getting a lot of DPS. The question is, who's actually is he gonna focus? It can't be Dragonite, and to be honest, it can't be Death Prophet either. So it might sound really bad when you can't focus on the enemy 2 carries when you're your carry self. But if you can remove the supports very quickly, that is still decent. The thing is, Enigma has a mech. He has 11 armor to work with. That's a pre-mech usage. And Shadow Shaman has a Ghost Scepter. So it's looking worse and worse for Burning. Like, he just does not have a valid target for him to focus. He just gotta hit whatever. And when you're hitting whatever, I'm not sure if that's good enough.
Well, I mean, he'll have to do something. Burning, of course, a very smart player. We'll probably find a target, but whether that target will remain still, that is the real question. But armor is the name of the game at this point. AC's finished on Burning. Gonna have that armor for his teammates, so it won't take as much damage from the Ghosts. Meanwhile, the Raiden also want to get a lot of armor or Ghost Scepters because, I mean, the Dire do a lot of physical damage as well. Man, this would be an awesome game for a Slaughter.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's where I previously talked about. That's nice to have now Leshrac as a carry because, yeah, sure, you could pop a Ghost Scepter. That's what will get you with the magical damage of the pulse. So that's what I meant by earlier when I said, it's somewhat awkward when you're getting a defensive item against a very well mixed damage team like what DK's got going. But DK, I mean, generally when there's a team with Burning, I could, blindly said, oh look, DK's gonna have the better late game here, but I think on the better late game is really on the other side, right? With the Dragonite, which he's nowhere near even being maxed because all the gank that went on his way. But he's going to be going for Assault Curious, going for really maxing out on the armor. And to be honest, let's not forget about the evasion that Heaven's Outbreak provide. It does give you the disarm ability, but the evasion will really increase his effective HP by a ton.
Yeah, it looks like Tongfu grouping up, but I really like DK's choice of farming up ROTK. They realized Templar Assassin doesn't really need too much farm. Meanwhile, ROTK, if you can stand in the middle of battle, get that Pulse Nova Edict off, really sustain that damage, will really wear down the side of Tongfu. So getting RTK farmed, I think, is probably the best choice. After getting Burning farmed, you might be like, Templar Assassin's so strong, but really Templar Assassin, she will just die after BKB, and she only has 1400 HP, and those ghosts just eat through their fraction like nobody's business. Meanwhile, RTK can just stand in the middle of things with that BKB, 2k HP as well, and maybe he'll be able to make a contribution in this next team fight. We'll see, but Dragonite is going to hit that level 16 just now, and Frosty Epicenter time.
Frosty Epicenter plus the Black Hole. The Black Hole has been great so far. I don't foresee Long DD whiffing in that one, but if a Black Hole is whiff, it's a big cooldown, and that might be an invitation again to DK to now push up on the high ramp. I think both teams is waiting for a mistake, and that's where we get into that lovely stage where nothing really happens. Both teams constantly looking for a mistake, but being the fact that they're pro gamers and they play these stage of the game basically every day, day in and day out, mistakes are quite rare, and that's why the games gets a little bit more turtly, a little bit quote-unquote boring to watch. Glyph is going to get popped on the tier 2 on the bot lane here, and I don't expect DK to be defending that one at least very aggressively. Ward gets dropped here by the Rasta, and that should be it. As I say that, looks like they're going to go right in for Moo. Where is the Self-Cyclone? Blink! There's a Self-Cyclone, but no Exorcism being cast. I think that's a huge mistake. Lone DD running out on that Black Hole. He's dead, and now there's the Exorcism just flying across, and you can see the damage being piled on Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda losing HP very, very rapidly, barely surviving, just running out, the Ghost falling in, and Burning survives with the Aegis Immortal, and now he's doing work against Hao, but just not burning it through quickly enough, but just enough here with Super backing it up, and they somehow win a team fight. Defending their tier 2, I did not expect them to win it that big, and I gotta say, really missing out that 2.5 seconds of damage from the Exorcism on the Cyclone. That was huge.
Yeah, I mean, Hao just, or was that Moo? Moo just charged in.
Yeah.
Got first hit bash, had to Self-Cyclone, Enigma popped the Black Hole, and a pretty strong Black Hole. Undying didn't even get the Tombstone off, which is pretty important in that situation, and didn't have too much amplified damage from that Flesh Golem either. But, I mean, Krob just being completely out of position, really, really uncharacteristic of Moo, and hopefully you can avoid it, but that will give DK at least a bit of a morale boost, knowing that, hey, we can actually win a team fight against these guys. But still, Tongfu, I still think, are very, very much in this game, and I think once Krob gets her full damage out, especially as DK, or Dragonite, starts to pick up more and more damage, DK will have to be extremely careful.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times we're very susceptible to seeing those YouTube videos where Enigma hits a 4-man Black Hole, and then everybody just kneels over and die. That's what we're used to seeing, but what we saw right there was a decent niche Black Hole. I think he hit like 3 or maybe even 4, but there was literally no damage output. Dragonite at this point is hitting for 160. That's embarrassingly low for a late game carry. He's by far the least late game carry hero on his team. He's not hitting for any damage, so that Black Hole literally just stunned for 4 seconds. And once Krob came down, they really burst her down. I didn't really see the elusive super, and I think that's a good thing when the caster, well, it's
yeah,
not
I
a
mean,
good thing
she
when
survived the whole team fight, but ROTK is going to get initiated on Silence is going to go on as well, going to get shackled in place. Here comes the Tombstone. Probably won't be able to accomplish too much because Veronica is now there. BKB is casted on Enigma as Undying is going to be cycled into the air. Pops Ghost Scepter, Shiva's Guard going to be slowing down the Undying. Here comes the Poison Nova. This team fight is completely crazy as the Templar Assassin blinks in. The spirits are dropped very, very late, and Moo dies again.
Yes.
And now Dragonite is going to be on the retreat. Man, I don't know why he dropped the spirits so late, but now he's going to melt. Dragonite is going to die as well. Those traps will be coming in. Here comes another trap. Venomancer T8 going to clean up duty. And keep in mind, well, now Burning's there. I didn't really see him for a lot of that fight.
No, he was right there. I love the play by Super. Again, I didn't see him where the first team fight was, but I saw him exactly where the second team fight was. Jumped straight for Moo and melted through right her armor. Melt, whatever you want to call it. Burning, of course, providing the backup damage. And of course, the backup bash with his insane attack speed. He's really good at locking down hero. I think the biggest mistake, as we do see Veronica chasing Ryan, does he really want to be right there? There's a couple of buyback, the entire Radiant team is back alive. The trap slowing down Tongfu though, and I think that's going to be it for that chase. The biggest mistake for me was Moo feeling that they had the advantage. They were 4 chasing and dying, and I do believe like a Venomancer. They assumed it was 2 free kill they're picking up, so she used her Cyclone for the zombie, and they're like, oh, let's pick her up in the air and then chase and surround and all that stuff. And that's when the enemy team decides to turn around and jump. And when you are basing your survivability on Yule Scepter, and you don't have the Yule's ability, you did. And that's what we saw against Moon. Moon making 2 hugely costly mistakes and 2 team fights lost. And this is not looking exactly where you want to be at this stage of the game if you're a Tongfu fan.
I mean, Dragonite, like you said, is only going to get stronger and stronger. But still hasn't finished the AC just yet. Still completely underfarmed. Krob has not made any progression very, very much. Had 3,300 gold in the bank. We'll see if she picked up an item. Was that a Ghost Scepter? I think there's a Ghost Scepter in the base for Krob. But Abyssal Blade is up on the Lifestealer, so somebody's going to get locked in place for 2 seconds, and they're going to die in that duration if Enigma isn't on top of things with the Black Hole. And a lot of pressure is going on Long DD because they're really need to get the perfect Black Hole off in order to win this team fight now, especially since they've lost a lot of momentum.
Yeah, I mean, also to be pointed out, of course, Abyssal Blade, if you guys are not too familiar with the item, it does go through Blackening Bar or Magical Immunity, and there are 2 on the Radiant side. Of course, you can get behind Lone DD and stun through his BKB, cancel the Black Hole, although I don't foresee that happening, very commonly. Also, I think the more important thing is that Veronica is not actually survivable, even with his BKB usage. Of course, he does have some decent armor with Vlad. I love it as a pickup, as a utility-based hero. And nowadays, we see Bounty Hunter, he's really neglected as on this like kind of a semi-3 role, where he gets you. He's basically as a moving track for his team. He doesn't do anything in a team fight apart from track. And do you feel like that's enough for a Bounty Hunter? If you have a Darkseer at this point in the game, he's providing AoE team fights, he's providing crowd control, he's providing chases and whatnot. Bounty Hunter normally never gets enough farm, and he's just a dead weight.
Yeah, especially in this situation where your team pretty much relies on team fight, and the other team relies on ganks. I mean, Bounty Hunter as a ganking hero is probably one of the best in the game, but as a team fight hero, really doesn't do very much if he doesn't have much farm. And Radiant structures are going to be fortified. Man, they really love that tower, as Burning is going to teleport out safely. The tower is in deny range. We'll see if they deny it finally. I think they are just no, they are going to deny it, surprisingly enough. Man, that tower's been through some tough times. I would have kept it, because every time there's a team fight right there, they always win it. So I would have kept it right there just for, the morale boost.
It's like a lucky tower that you don't.
It's like a shining beacon in an otherwise dark and grim game.
Well, that shiny beacon is no more, as Veronica looking for a backstab, although he's running into the entire enemy team. And the reason that he's looking very, very aggressively in that general direction is because Roshan, the 4th iteration, has responded. And again, you do not want Burning to get his filthy hands on that, because he is really close to maxing out him. He could be picking up Hyperstone number 2 and be finishing that Mjolnir, and I do believe that's exactly what he's going to do when he gets his Aegis Immortal. And earlier I talked about Burning not doing enough damage, at least against the armor value of Dragonite. He has truly transcended that point. Now he is doing a hell ton of damage. You're saying, he's only doing about 270, that's not too high. Don't forget about the bashes, don't forget the procs, that's the armlet turned off, that's not counting the minus armor. We're looking around 400 to 450 of damage output per hit. And this guy hits like a fast mother effer, because got a lot of attack speed through that rage, got the Hyperstone, multiple Hyperstone, armlet gives you attack speed. He's rocking it, man.
Definitely. And ROTK still at the first cheese, because Templar Assassin never used it, gave it to ROTK, even when ROTK was ganked, never used it, so they actually have 2 cheeses on their side. Give the second cheese to the Venomancer, because looks like Templar Assassin is maxed out, has the gem.
And the Daedalus. I did not see
She's had the Daedalus for quite a while.
Damn. Okay, so earlier I was trying to make a self-troll joke. I was going to say, if you're playing a good Templar Assassin, you are eluding even the caster's eyes. And then I realized, oh wait, I'm Luminous. Like, you don't even need to do anything and you evade my eyes. Because I got no map awareness, so.
It's alright. We all still love you. Yeah. Except for me. I actually hate you.
AC finish being on the top lane as I cry. Dragonite is still farming away. Again, the bright side is that if the game goes long, Hao has a lot of slots to go with. The downside is that you're weak as heck. And, Heaven's Halberg, Lifesteal, and AC is, respectable by all means. But if you compare it to Burning, it's looking pretty bad. And Burning does have 5,000 gold in the bank and Aegis. Like, he can be just getting the Mjolnir right now. Is he looking for a Boot to Travel instead?
Oh man, Hex is up on ROTK. Ghost Scepter will not save you if you're a Krobelus, as Looks like gonna disassemble the boots, pick up boots of travel. Gonna open up an item slot, but yeah, hex up on ROTK. Man, when she goes scepters up, just gonna be hexing, gonna get killed. And at this point in the game, much like an Undying, although much later value at around 15-minute marks, Krobelus is effectiveness as well because you're gonna be maxed out on HP, gonna have a lot of armor, and you know the spirits they don't really get better as the game goes on. They only get worse. And since this Krob went for Bloodstone, which I still don't understand, went for Yules, which is a great defensive item, but not hard to disable like a Hex, and has a Ghost Scepter as well, really has not made any true late game items, you could say.
Yeah, I think you are completely dead on point when you say, you know, it should not have been a Bloodstone. It should have been a Shiva's Guard Rush. Again, you're losing the HP. You know, it's a very risky item choice, but you do accelerate into your next item choice, be it a Ghost Scepter, which, you know, you can still get behind that, or more importantly, a Hex. Really good against that Nyx once he's out of the, you know, the Rage form. But yeah, at this point, she is really much a. I mean, still does decent damage. Let's not forget that. But we are at a stage of the game where armor value gets higher and higher as players are recognizing armor is really where you want to be at this stage of the game. And again, like I said previously, those ghosts, they do physical damage and they never get better. They don't benefit from better items. They don't benefit from like axe step. There's no upgrade on that. You're maxed out on damage. And as armor value gets higher and higher, DK Burning still has, you know, a couple of slots to be filled.
And I mean DK, I mean the gank lineup gets stronger in the late game. It loses effectiveness in the mid game when, you know, there are giant team fights. But in the late game, if one hero pokes his head out, then you are going to die, and that means Dragonite cannot safely farm. Only has AC, still hitting for looks like 200 damage on the dot. So really not too powerful at this stage in the game. They're gonna smoke up. We'll see if anything come from it. They're really hoping that it will. Meanwhile, Leshrac just going all out, has 8 charges on the Bloodstone, so will respond quite quickly, but does not want to be picked off right now. RTK is gonna be in a lot of trouble. Gonna use the Edict on these Mud Golems, but no, Tongfu just misses him by the skin of the teeth. Lucky break for RTK. Has the cheese, has the BKB, has Hex, but no buyback. Picks up the plate mail as well. So Tongfu gonna miss a little bit of opportunity right there. DK, they're not aware of this.
The backstab's coming in right now. They see Burning. If you get him, that's a huge prize. Burning does pop the Rage, and he's going to work. And immediately, where's the Black Hole? Lone DD gets focused right now. Lone DD gets bashed through the BKB. Still working on the Black Hole. Where is it? No more Black Hole. No, none. It's not there. And now Kung Fu Panda doing all sorts of damage. DK is just going to work right now. Burning kills the Gondar in just 2 hits. And look at that team fight. It is completely lopsided. They really need the Black immediate smoke. Is that for MS bonuses? Yes, it is. They're like, yeah, man, we got this. We know we need to get the high ground. And with that one team fight, they're going right in. Wow, that was really a lopsided team fight in the favor of DK. And this tower, yeah, it's not gonna go survive any. Oh, there's like a lift, so it's gonna survive in 5 seconds. But perhaps we're gonna see a double Rax in the favor of DK now.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Krob really couldn't do too much. Dragonite really did basically no damage. I mean, it was pretty sad. And once you focus on the Enigma, you pretty much lose all of your teamfight potential. It's not even really for the disable, it's more for the fact that you're holding people in place so you can try to get the damage out with the Ghosts and the splash of the Dragonite. But DK are going to take 2 racks. They might even be able to go for a 3rd because Black Hole is not up. And I think that would be the correct move. They are going to swing around.
Did he use it in team fight? Did it get canceled? Whatever the case might be, I saw a lot of flashes, but there were no Black Hole. But here we go. Triple racks down. And this is really where you GG out, right? Lone DD and then get focused down. He does pop the BKP. It is on full retreat and mega creeps. They're surrounding out Moo. Moo gets focused. Where's the Yule Scepter? Use that, my friend. That is your only savior. He pops Ghost, and it's gonna die right in front of tower with the Ghost Scepter. He does buy back right now. Exosome gets popped, and he's gonna try to take the entire enemy team. DK perhaps overstaying their welcome. Kung Fu Panda says, no, I want you. I want the Fountain as well. Venomancer pops his ultimate, just doing pot shot down. There's a Yule Scepter flying herself up in the air. Dies a second time, and Kung Fu Panda, Kung Fu Panda is still taking 4, guys. Are they believing they have won the game? I do believe so as well. QQQ still fighting the Dragonite, dying in front of tower. This is some next level fountain diving. Do not do this at home, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Super gonna survive at 35 HP for so long. Finally gonna die as they're just gonna all buy back and go for the next Roshan when it spawns in probably 4 minutes. Literally everybody bought back. Meg creeps are up. I mean, I don't even know if they can defend against this. They don't really have any damage other than Exorcism, but they're gonna have to try. They're not gonna GG out just yet. They do have a Dragonite, but this Dragonite, man, this is the saddest dragon I've seen in a long time. Not burning anything, not even freezing anything, just, you know, flapping his wings.
He's really sending just like snowflakes to these Mega Creeps. Like, it just feels
seriously.
like that. It does not do anything. So earlier, if you guys recall, I said, yeah, the Radiant team by far has better late game. That's only true if they have equivalent farm or equivalent farm. I should know this because I'm a math teacher.
Equivalent.
It could be pronounced that. Now I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Equivalent.
There you go. Damn. Sometimes it's good to know those math terms. Equivalent farm, and of course, again, like B-Balling pointed out, they have a clock on them. They have to end the game around 45-50. That's when Krobelus really gets maxed out. And they're now defending against Mega Creeps. Can they defend against Mega Creeps? I think they can. I think they have the right item. Cecil Vlads is a great item. And to be honest, I don't think... I know the saying is, you know, 1 racks down, no problem. 2 racks down, keep on playing. 3 racks down, GG out. I don't think DK should feel like this game is a one thing, because right now, and for the remainder of the game, Tongfu will have gold income from these 20 gold creeps. Meanwhile, DK has no gold income.
Oh my god!
No, I'm not kidding!
No, stop the clock right now! I've seen my first ever sighting of Rod of Atos in a game.
Oh, what happened?
DKQQ has a Rod of Atos. Like, I've never seen this before. This has never happened in my life.
So real fast, guys, for you guys following at home, viewing it up, this is when you get Rod of Atos, when you are up 3 Raxes, and when you have a Pharma's Technics. That's when you get Rod of Atos. Anytime else.
Have you ever seen a Rod of Atos in a professional?
No, and I'm saying it's a shit item, because the only time you get it was when you have 3 Rax.
Yo, we used to call Abysmal Blade, you know, or Abyssal Blade Abysmal Blade?
Abysmal Blade. Like, that's pretty good, I gotta say. I don't have a smart one for Rod of Atos.
Rod of crap. We'll just go with the Rod of crap.
That's you know. Alright, so we're gonna see Tongfu defending this one up.
Yeah, Moo
this
has...
is getting... no. What does Moo have?
Yes, 1,000 of evasion.
Yeah!
Hey, Ever, you can't see me. Got my hand in front of your face. If you're gonna take that jump shot, you can't see me, son.
Yo, man, then that shit cray. But evasion, I guess you gotta tank it up somehow. There are no MKB on the enemy side, so... do you know what this is? This is giving me that frightening flashback of that 160-minute pubcast, because I'm very, very fully aware how the Radiant team based...
Jack has a relic. He's gonna go for Rapier. The question is, can he farm it? 40 Rapiers coming in? Sell all of their item slots and get 40 Rapiers.
If anybody's wondering, Rapier is the absolute correct item choice if you're down like this. There's no more, oh, what if I drop my Rapier? You lose one more fight, you're dead anyways. And DK is just taking their leisure time, adding, what, the 4th cheese to their inventory now? Do they even have slots for cheeses?
You don't want it. We'll just leave it there.
I think QQQ might pick up the Aegis. They're like, got no slot. Alright, they're gonna give it to the supports. Nobody wants a fucking Aegis.
They're gonna...
Oh, they're just gonna sell the armlet for the Aegis? Is that right?
They're gonna wait 4 minutes, and then they're gonna pick it up, and then Roshan will be back 6 minutes later, and Roshan will...
Take it.
You know? Perfect timing.
Wait, is that even right? You sell the Aegis for the... Or you sell the cheese for the Aegis? Or you sell the armlet, sorry, for the Aegis on Nyx? I don't want to say that's right.
Oh, I think it's right. I mean...
Okay.
That's a good choice in this situation. Picks up a BKB, 10 seconds, because, you know, 16 seconds of magic immunity. I mean...
Alright, and of course he jumps into Templar Assassin. He comes into Templar Assassin, and we are ready for this last game-ending team fight. And Dragonite, go check. Not there yet.
Not even close. Oh,
can we see Tongfu somehow win a team fight here? Well, we'll talk about it right now here. You say no. I don't know, man. There you go. How gets focused. They don't want how. Who do they want? Stun somebody. Kung Fu Panda. Words of black hole. My eyes is on you, my friend. Kung Fu Panda losing HP very rapidly. Pops a cheese. He was just a distraction. Black hole. It's on 3. And Dragonite Frost Epicenter. Not exactly being dropped on top of anything. He's losing HP very rapidly. Burning. Not hitting buildings. In fact, he just wanted to game. He wanted to throw. In fact, How is gonna get burst back just by Super alone. Super doing insane amount of work right now. Kung Fu Bandit to Usurper on Moo. Moo's gonna get focused down as well, but you are right, B-Balling. No way they're gonna defend this. Oh, Super is diving in the fountain. Super is dying, but the throne just goes down there. And 56
I just
minute
want to
victory.
talk
Yes.
about that last fight.
Yes.
My God, Super is a good player. You know, hated on, well, not really hated on, but he was underperforming a bit. But he just wait till his entire team gets black hole, then just like blinks past the Enigma, hits him in 3 hits, Enigma dies. Doesn't care about black holes. Just, you know, just blink outside of the range. You have range with sidelights, just kill Enigma.
Yep.
Screw black hole.
Yep. Another reason why Templar Assassin is OP in the hands of these great players. So I think that's going to do it. I was hoping that this game would go on a little bit longer for us to see a Divine at the very least on the Dragonite, because game might have been a little bit, you know, spicy if that's the case, but unfortunately that is not the case. And DK takes us this somewhat exciting game, so I think this is a good time. Generally, we don't open up into discussion at the end of game, but I think this one is kind of really back and forth. So can we get a quick summary of why, you know, Tongfu was strong in a certain stage of the game and why DK came back at the end? You know, B-Bong, what's your take on how the ebb and flow of this game? How did it go for you?
The one thing was Mu charging into that tier 2 tower on the bottom lane, getting bashed first hit, using that Eul's on himself, and then, you know, DK had Aegis, so they were able to respond, and TA just went to work, but that one mistake by Mu cost Tongfu the entire game.
Wow. All right, single it down on Mu. That's really harsh. I also, of course...
Well, it was because of him that they were in the game.
That's true. I mean, he won multiple team fights for them, and they really, you know, got carried by Mu up to that point. Also, I want to really say DK's good ganking squad. They don't have a ganking squad. I mean, their Venomancer and TA are like their best gankers compared to, let's say, a Bounty Hunter, a Blink Enigma, and a Shadow Shaman. They really shut down this Dragonite hard, right? I think 8-9 minutes in, he had boots and a soul ring. That's it. And they continue to shut him down hard, despite him having, 350 last hit. Those 350 last hit weren't really felt because he was always kept way below the Nyx. And, you know, earlier, I think during the pick and ban phase, you talked about how burning is always centerpiece of the team, but it's the other 4 members ganking down the enemy carry, or initiating properly. Again, you know, Super in the clutch team fight focus Enigma. They do a lot of the load of the carrying as well. So credits were credits due. Any final words for B-Balling before we close out this commentary?
I prefer Dragonite when he's burninating things rather than when he's just shooting out snowflakes.
Snowflakes. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. And of course, we are approaching the 350 casting marathon. Big thanks to B-Balling for helping me out as my voice.
I'm gonna send you a cake. I'm gonna send you a cake from Connecticut or Massachusetts, wherever I happen to be at that point. And actually, I'll be inside that box. Better have some arrows in there. And then when it's 350, I'm gonna pop out, and I'll probably be dead because, you know, you can't really send a box cross country with inside of a cake.
I want to know if there's gonna be a bow on you, and whether you're shirtless or not. We'll leave this discussion for another day. Check out B-Balling on his YouTube channel. I believe a Drunktastic adventure is being worked on, as well as there's some epic musical chords, but I will not spoil anymore. B-Balling773 is his YouTube channel, and of course, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, this is Luminous signing off to you guys.